the twists and turns I was forcing myself through. Perhaps it had been inevitable as I'd tried to fast forward my way to ancient wisdom through 21st century technology. Perhaps it was my fault for trying to learn yoga on YouTube. The advantages of this approach were seductive. I could fit the yoga sessions in at a time to suit me, no travel time or costs, and no need to buy new leggings. No need to worry about what I looked like at all. I could do my practice naked or in my work clothes, and no one would ever see me. It's the greatest gift, perhaps the greatest illusion, offered by the internet to users across the world. No matter if you are poor, maimed, halt, or blind, no matter if you are ashamed of what you look like, in general, or specifically when squatting in frog, no matter if you have no skills, whether social skills or the specific skills of vinyasa, and no matter if you live far from the corridors of power or the studios of Lululemon, everyone can be connected. The world is wide open to us all through this web. Find 3G or a Wi-Fi connection, and you can be one of us. So I began with a one-word YouTube search: yoga. It yielded an interesting crop of results: some mild pornography, adverts for the yoga brand laptop, which borrows a bit of on-trend Sanskrit as a synonym for flexibility, some Hindi chanting, and a wide selection of guided sessions lasting up to an hour. Many advertised themselves like herbalist powders for weight loss, for digestion, for flexibility, for runners, for strength, for a good night's sleep. The little capsule-shaped sample window for each one offered to solve every kind of physical, psychic, or emotional problem. I could not wait to begin. The self-diagnosis necessary to select the most appropriate of these sessions for me at any given time was in fact the first benefit that they brought me. Often, this was the first time I really checked in with myself in a day. The second benefit of e-yoga was being able to have a pop-up approach to my practice. No dimmed lighting, no candles, no preparing of a sacred space. My flat was carpeted, so I didn't even lay out a yoga mat. I simply arranged myself cross-legged in the middle of my sitting room and opened a new window on my laptop. And yet the space did become sacred. It hushed as I silenced the multiple conversations I conducted sometimes simultaneously on Facebook, on my phone, on Skype. And I silenced the conversations in my head too. Should I do that? Why did I say that? Why did she say that? Am I good enough? Am I fat? Am I happy? Was that right? With a click, I was focused on somewhere else. Incongruously, I could feel that I was living by the precepts of the 15th century Hatha Yoga Pradipika manual. Yoga succeeds by these 6: enthusiasm, openness, courage, knowledge of the truth, determination, and solitude. It was a solitude which still allowed me to inhale and exhale in time with the group of girls in black lycra, filmed doing their sequences by a Joshua tree in the desert. For a while I had a regular date with a guy in his garage. I watched, only once, the 3 women who squabble over whose turn it is to give instruction, but worked through a series of cat-like women demonstrating each pose in their sequences with fluid grace, before unwinding and bitchily saying, "If that's a little challenging for you, then look at Susie here," gesturing to a dumpier model off to one side, and demonstrating how the pose can be made possible for a normal body. Once I had got into a routine of regular sessions on the mat, or at least on the trackpad, I made sure that if I was going to be somewhere without internet access, I used a DVD a friend had lent me. This enlightenment to go had been a rather surprising McDonald's free gift, and its production values were those of a Happy Meal. As many yogis had been involved in the filming as strawberries had been required for the flavoured milkshakes. This was a yoga session which took place entirely within a CGI lab. It featured a tight-abbed model with a fixed, serene smile reminiscent of the woman by the Joshua tree. She moved with the dreamy glide of a video game character in a way that was more a reminder of the complete absence of friction in her world than a motivation to yogic discipline. But I realized that the experience of following the practice of the yogis and yoginis who peopled the other sessions